What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, and what up, and what up, and what up some more. Laker fans, Laker Nation, make some noise. I know y'all are out there. We are in the building. We live. It's Brooklyn Bears Ball Sports Show. Yo, we in the building. I know you turned up Southern California. Let's go. It is all good. Western Conference Finals. We got so much to talk about today. It's your boy Rod. It's your boy Don. And before we get into it, and we got a special guest today as well. Oh, man, it's going to be popping today. We need you to smash that like button. We need you to share. We need you to comment. Continue to show us the love, man. Listen, Facebook, YouTube, y'all out there, we appreciate it, man, for supporting the show and everything we doing, man. We running real deep in these playoffs now. But my man, Don, what's good with you, bro?
Oh, I know you're feeling good. You're feeling yourself and feeling your Lakers. Good win, man. Listen, what am I going to say? Good win. The better team won. And, it's going to be interesting. We got a special guest. So, Laker fans, listen, when you guys are winning, listen, everywhere you go. My son had a jersey on this morning. I mean, like, yo, where'd you get that? I didn't buy that from you. What are you doing? But he's a real deal Laker fan.
That's what's up. You raised
without further ado, man, let's get into it.
What's going on, man?
Yo,
we got
feeling good.
DeMarcus McKinney in the building. Listen, Lakers. Already see he got the Lakers hat on. He's a Lakers fan, and it's like, all right, guys.
What could I say, man?
It's really good. It's been a long time coming. We've been trying to get DeMarcus on the show. And so we're finally super excited that he's on the show. And I mean, perfect timing. Maybe the first time it wouldn't have worked out, right? So now he's on the show and the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. Like, just,
they gonna let
Laker
me bask in my
fans,
glory.
Cowboys fans, people do that. Like, sometimes they hold out from shows until it's the right time to slide in.
Gosh.
When they're on the winning side of things, let's make sure we make this happen.
Hey. Not a front runner by any chance, man. Y'all can have me on every other Saturday, Friday of the week, man. I'll be here.
But listen, very, very exciting. Listen, let's get into it. We got so much to discuss. Okay, let's start off with the Lakers. I mean, I know both of you guys are super excited about what the Lakers did last night and what they did in the series. It was actually really impressive. Now the question that they've made it to the Western Conference Finals, the question is, can the Lakers win it all? Can they win it all? I mean, they had the opportunity to play the champs, right? And initially it was something like, okay, in order to be successful, you gotta beat the champs, right? And the Lakers, when you think about the start of the season, how they started off 2-10, the trade was everything. That after the trade, that reset the trajectory of your team, and then your team actually, you got pieces that fit. And I will say this: you really do need to give. If you guys do win it all, Russ gets a ring. You should give Russ a ring. But that's another story.
Oh, no.
But in any case,
he will
say
get
that.
one though. According to the league, he would get one though.
That's right. He should.
Him and
we might need to change the question of can the Lakers win it all? Because
you don't even want to give him a ring.
You don't get to go to the Clippers after all we've been through. You don't get to go to the Clippers and get a ring.
You should be able to find gainful employment. I mean, that's only right. But I'll say this: I think that this is the important matter. After the trade, your team completely changed for the positive. You found pieces. You found people who were, role players, scorers, people who could handle the ball. It took the pressure and all of the, pretty much, operating the offense, the wear and tear on LeBron. He's able to now, Draymond Green mentioned it. It kind of threw him off that LeBron was playing so much off the ball. So it's one of those things where it was a completely, you guys did a 180 from how you started. And we know it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And you guys finished strong. You're in the Western Conference Finals. Yep. And we'll discuss maybe on another show how we think you guys will fare. But we'll delve into that now. But what do you guys say? I mean, how do you feel about the Warriors? Do you think that's a true test of how good you are, or because you were such a bigger team, it doesn't give a true indication of how great you guys really are? What do you say?
I'll defer to D. Go ahead, DeMarcus.
Yeah, no, I feel like it's just a test along the road. I think it was needed. I think we definitely needed to play the Warriors, given that they're defending champs. You do got a superstar who can swing the momentum and keep things going in a specific favor. As much as they may be small, their advantage was going to be their strength and their speed and their shooting, and we needed to play that. Sometimes you got to play your opposition to dive more into who you are. You know what I mean? The games we lost, I felt like we started to have a shootout with them instead of being who we were true to form. So I'm fine with that. Even the Memphis series, like they young, fast, they big bodied as well. You know what I mean? So they can play a certain style to keep up with us and everything. But I feel like you need those moments, especially for young players and the team cohesion, to get used to certain pressure and to be able to thrive in within it. So I like it. And if people think that they too small or they ain't got a true big, we don't got a point guard who could do what Steph could do. We don't got clutch players that can do what Clay has done. You know what I mean? As the secondary players and stuff. So you got to go against that. Sometimes you got to see what you're not to know who you are. So I like it.
Yeah, that's what's up. I feel you on that. Yeah, I feel you on that. I think with the Lakers too, the big key obviously is their defense. When we got these pieces in here, how Darvin Ham has been able to use these guys with the tenacity. You can do so much more because they got length, they got speed, and they got a lot younger. So I think defensively, it's going to always be the key. Even going into the next series with Denver, bigger team, definitely, we don't have the size advantage to that degree in which we had with Memphis and against Golden State. But if we continue to play aggressively, the switches, the rotations, AD still being who he is, and AD for all intents and purposes, he's really known for his defense, always been, even back in his days in Kentucky. He was always defense, and so that's never changed. And so for the Lakers, what I liked a lot, and I've been saying it all since the playoffs begun, it's about the intensity on defense. And I like the pick and roll action that we're doing more. And again, LeBron being able to have ball handlers now. This is the first time in his career that he's now able to share the ball with other guys who can set up the offense, with Reeves, with D'Lo, with Schroeder. I like the lineup last night, changing out the starters, bringing in Schroeder, which I also not only gave you a little bit better defense. I think Vanderbilt is playing a little hurt right now, but he gives you a little more defense, but then he's also offensive threat, whereas Vanderbilt didn't give you that. So I thought that was a real wise move by Darvin Ham to switch it up there, who's been doing actually an amazing job. And I'm going to go on record. I said I did not like the hire when we hired him. You know what I'm saying? I remember Darvin, obviously, from his playing days. I know he came off the bench with Milwaukee as an assistant coach, so he has championship experience as an assistant. But, I have to say, with the guys he got in the trade line that Pelinka was able to pull, listen, it's all defense now, and the Lakers got to live and die on that defense. And so if we continue to play that, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we ain't Phoenix, you know what I'm saying? We ain't Minnesota either. So I know we talking about the size differential or now a better matchup in size with Denver, but at the same time too, we got much more depth than Phoenix, and we definitely are not soft the way Minnesota is. So I mean, I definitely love the way we looking coming into this series. But for me, it's all about the defense.
That's right.
So, how do you think the Lakers match up against Denver? You're not Phoenix. You're not teams that are either potentially have no bench whatsoever, or you have a decent bench, but they play timid. You had, issues infighting, Rudy Gobert situation, and you have a big that has a defensive side but doesn't put up any points. So Denver is a complete team, and I'm not going to go from team to team, but I think this even more than the Warriors would be your greatest challenge. I think if you guys can beat Denver, who has chemistry, they've been playing together for a while, everybody's clicking on all cylinders, they have a extremely deep bench. You got players that have, KCP, you got Porter, you got, Murray, of course, you got Jokic, you got a team that you now have to, they're not and I'm not saying the Warriors are, or were, but they were one-dimensional if you think
They
about
were.
it.
Oh yeah, no
They
question.
were if they
No question.
beat you, they beat you on deep balls, and if it was off, I mean, Clay last
Yeah.
night shot
Right.
horrendous. I mean,
Bruh.
he didn't shoot great the
Looks,
whole
everything.
series, but it
Yeah.
was, and I
Yeah.
know shooters shoot, right? Shooters
Right.
shoot, but in that case, it was just listen, and the Lakers were taking those rebounds. They're shooting the three, they're taking those long rebounds and just pushing it
Mhm.
down. Anthony Davis is cherry picking at the other end. Just
Mhm.
so you're not going to have that the next round. I think it's going to be an excellent Western Conference Finals. But I think, how do you think you guys will fare against Denver, a larger team, more skilled than the Warriors? They're a better team than the Warriors, right?
Yeah, they are.
They are.
And I think bench for bench, you got fast players, you got length on.
They can match us.
Yeah, they can match
can
you
definitely
position
match
for
you,
position. And now, Jokic is going to be a challenge for Anthony Davis. That whole, banging, if he takes him out, he has both. He has multiple dimensions where he can attack. If he goes down in the box, advantage Jokic. If he takes him on the outside, I mean, both of them are skilled big men that can shoot, mid-range jumpers, but he can now pull him out, try to go past him. He can pass
Very true.
within the double team if he's double team. So it's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting. What do you guys say?
I feel like Jokic is going to be able to get his on offense, but I think where he's going to have his challenges is playing vertical. He can't really get off the floor. So when LeBron and AD are attacking the rim, he's always been in foul trouble when we've played him. The last couple years that we played him, even in the regular season, I felt like we've had Denver number, even when they've been a better team than us. We fared well. We beat them when we had Russ a couple times. I'm like, and that team was so discombobulated. For me, I'm like, I trust them. For me, I don't like having superstars that can't play defense, because at the end, there's going to be times in the game when we need you to play defense, whether it's to be a leader of some sort or to walk the walk as you preaching it to others. And when he can't do it at such a high level, it's going to cause a problem. If he get in foul trouble any game, you could scrap the whole game plan, because all we're going to do is keep doing what we've been doing.
Exactly.
Outside of that, when you have Schroeder, you got D'Lo, and you got Reeves. People don't like it. Once they get to that free throw line, that specific area, you got to watch out for. I can't touch them in here, because they'll throw their body into you. Reeves getting a million and ones just off that area specifically. Jamal Murray's going to have to deal with all three of them. None of them are the talent that they is, but we can attack their best players. You can't really do so much attacking to LeBron and AD. You put LeBron in a pick and roll, you're not just going to ISO LeBron and just keep going. And you'd be crazy to play that game with AD. So that's where I have a hang up. I'm a huge Aaron Gordon fan, so I know he's got the body and the stature to play with LeBron and is more athletic at this point.
Right.
I just want to see, is LeBron going to play from the elbow and down versus taking plays off, giving people a chance to shoot those threes. I feel like if him and AD play from the box down, I don't think nobody's going to beat us if we're healthy. And it's not a confidence thing, or just, it's hard to beat a two top 10 players with the defense and a great bench that's playing for each other. That's a lot to ask. So we'll see. I think the best thing they can do is keep AD out the paint, which Jokic will be able to do. Jamal Murray can't have a 40-point game and then a 15-point game. We might just need 26 every night if Denver's going to win. They need that consistency, and Michael Porter got to step up. He got to take a step. If he takes that step, it could change things up. But just know that I'm going to just say it. I think Jokic going to have some trouble getting in foul. I think he's going to be in foul trouble for big parts of the game. So that's where I'm looking at.
Yeah, you broke that down, bro. Yeah, you bodied that analysis.
Yeah.
He did. I think you're on point with everything. I can't even add anything to that, because you're right. Jokic with the foul trouble that I think he's definitely going to get into, because again, AD is so skilled offensively, so he's going to definitely make him work. And I think the point that you're making, which I like, DeMarcus, is that the key is the Lakers are going to have to make them play defense, and they will. And not that Denver can't play D, but it's going to take a lot away from them offensively as well. Because, again, Phoenix is not a good defensive team. Ayton gave them nothing, as we know. Again, even with all the issues going on with Minnesota, as you were talking about earlier, D, as you alluded to that, we're coming in solid. Our defensive assignments are going to be solid, but offensively, we're going to put a lot of pressure on them. And Murray is inconsistent. He's a star. He does his thing, but he is inconsistent. And what I love about the Lakers, and here's what we need, is if you notice all through the pattern in this playoff run, is that you got Hachimura against Memphis. You know what I'm saying? You got Reeves, who actually been playing consistent throughout the playoffs. You had D'Lo when he stepped up big in some games. You know what I mean? You're going to have guys that are going to, could be Schroeder one night. And we had Lonnie Walker the fourth going off the other night, right? So everybody, this is why the Lakers, I feel, is so dangerous, because as you said, we go from the box down. You get that two-man game with AD and again with LeBron, it's unstoppable. I mean, I don't care. Now, they got some good bodies, but they're not going to stop them boys if they're playing the way they're playing, to DeMarcus' point. But we still got these other good role players that can get off, give us shots, give us some of the points that we're going to need to make up whatever differences we're going to need to make up. So again, it's defense and the role players for me for the Lakers. And if AD does what AD does, I don't think I really think we can get this. I see the Lakers getting this in 6. And the key is, we got, obviously, to win the series, we have to. But this is where the Lakers have been doing, been really making their money, is getting that game 1. We get that game 1. Trust me, it's going to be a problem for Denver. We got game 1 in Memphis. We got game 1 against Golden State. We take game 1. Trust me, it's going to be a problem. And we haven't lost at home yet, so we got to continue to protect our home court and do what we do. So, yeah, I like this series. This is going to be good. But I got LA in 6 on this. And yes, to answer the question, the Lakers can win it all. Absolutely. Because, D, you just said it. We get through these Western Conference Finals, I think we could beat Boston or Philly. I do. I think we could beat Boston or Philly.
So you give the Heat no shot?
I don't give them. Yeah, I can't.
Nah, you don't give them a shot to make it.
I don't think they're going to make
it to the finals.
I give them a shot to make it, but winning it, that's a tall. We've been there before. We've seen that. It didn't even look like a matchup at times. But they'll fight so hard. Sometimes they just go. It's like that gnat. They just keep flying around. You like, bro, you still here? You know what I mean?
So, right.
Yeah. What I will say for Denver, one thing a lot of people aren't bringing up, which is the most obvious thing you can bring up with Denver, is the altitude. That is going to play a factor, especially with LeBron being in the older age. We've already seen there's times when he's gasping. You know what I mean? And he might might not have it. So, and Denver has that same thing where they can get running and they can just be on, and it's like everything falling, and you might just have to take that game off. That can cost you in a series such as this. I'm a fan of Jokic, so, and nothing I was saying against him is like he can't, or the moment's gonna be too big. He can get it done. He can get it done.
He can.
We got to pace ourselves properly. We probably need to fly to Denver tonight and get used to it. We need to get used to it as soon as we can. So
yeah, you might be right. That's a good point. And I'll say this last thing too with that, as far as Jokic, we got to be patient though on defense too, because Jokic is a lot like Curry. Obviously, he doesn't move like Curry, but he's a facilitator. And the Lakers got to definitely make sure that we stay patient. Be careful how we pursue, shut the lanes down. But that's why I say game 1 is going to be really critical, because game 1 is the game where, we know we're going to see adjustments being made for game 2. But we got to see how they're going to play and what they're going to do. But again, Jokic in that middle, getting that ball, he's like a Draymond in that sense, but a Draymond who can score. And so we just got to, be very patient, again, with our rotations. We got to make sure that we pin down what we got to pin down and make sure that we're getting the aggression that we need. And what I noticed with LeBron, and I think in this last game too, Ham will bring him out for like a couple of minutes. I noticed LeBron's getting spots with his time on the bench. It's not like a long rest. He'll get his moments in there and get in there and do what he has to do. And of course, obviously, the scoring has a lot to do. If you're up by 16, then you can afford to rest him for a couple of minutes in there. I don't know if that's going to always be the case here with Denver, but I love the way Darvin Ham is managing the bench and rotating the guys. I really like what he's doing. So I like our chances, man. I really do. In spite of Jokic and these boys getting off, which they will, but to DeMarcus's point, they play the box down, them boys with LeBron and AD. It's going to be a problem.
That's a tall task.
That's a tall task. So, Rod, you have Lakers in 6.
I got Lakers in 6.
DeMarcus, what's your prediction on Western Conference Finals? What do you have?
I'm right there. I think we beat them. Did we beat them in 5 a couple years back?
Oh,
was
in the
bubble. In the bubble, was it 5?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
I'm going to give them 6, and it's specifically due to the altitude. And then I need to see Jamal Murray got to be consistent, or Michael Porter Jr. is going to have to show himself for something. They need all 3 of them to play well. That's a must. Everybody else, Aaron Gordon, KCP, what's my guy? Bruce, is it Bruce Brown?
Brown.
Bruce Brown.
He's gonna play all of them. Bruce Brown, I love watching Bruce Brown. Him and KCP, they 3-and-D run the fast breaks well. Michael
They
Porter
got Reggie
Jr.
Jackson on the team. That
Reggie
doesn't
Jackson.
get. I mean,
Jackson, he's not even in the rotation anymore.
He's not in the rotation.
Yeah.
But I just have to push back on one thing. You guys are speaking as if Denver has to be, hey, listen, their margin of error is very, like, if they do this, no, you guys have to be consistent too. Let's not forget how Anthony Davis, towards the end, right? The Warriors were a wounded animal, so they took them out of their misery. But don't act like Anthony Davis can't have those lulls or be inconsistent.
That's true.
Inconsistency against Denver, who, and listen, they're a very good team. They can push the ball. They can keep it moving. And I think that, like, inconsistency or consistency is important and on both sides. Yeah. So we're making, I mean, Denver, their record, how they've played the entire season, and I mean, that could be said because look at the Bucks. The Bucks were so dominant and they were out. So records don't mean anything, but it's the style of play. So with that being said, I think it's not solely, well, you know, if they're not on it 100%, we're going to take them. I mean, if Anthony Davis has an off game, Anthony Davis, you know, LeBron, you said he's a older player. The altitude, there's other factors, and it's not just who plays the best. I think it should be very exciting. It should be a really, really good series. Size for size, bench for bench. I think it's going to be, and both teams have star power. Obviously, they don't have the names of Anthony Davis and LeBron, but Jokic is a 2-time MVP, and there should be some respect put on his name. Oh yeah, so I think he doesn't have to jump out of the gym, but if he can create a situation where, defensively he's not as good as Anthony Davis, but he can get Anthony Davis moving. I mean, like he has, his footwork is really, really good, and if he can get other players involved by them collapsing on him, he's excellent at passing out of the box. So it's going to be a great series. I will say this. I do have the Lakers losing. Obviously, I have the Lakers losing. So there's no surprise there. Yeah, but I have Denver. I was going to say Denver in 5, but I'm going to go Denver in 6. I'm going to go Denver in 6.
To even think, were you actually considering Denver in 5? That was actually a thought in your mind at one point?
I was considering
it. And really cogitated on that and gave that some serious...
Yeah, let me tell you why. They're LeBron, I know that if you think about it, Denver has been getting rest. They're a rested team. They're a younger team. And I think them having... home court advantage. I think that is going to, there are things that you can take away from the Warriors series that they did effectively. And the Warriors just didn't have the personnel to continue with the size, disadvantage. Yeah, so if you look at, if you look at Denver's team, they can do that pick and roll and abuse Anthony Davis and pull him out. But they just don't have the 1-2 punch of size and a presence inside. That was, so if Denver takes some of those...
How does that justify losing in 5? I still don't understand the justification.
I think that they can put the pedal to the metal. I like, you're like that all that air in your lungs is based off of name recognition at all. Listen, the zigzag is coming back. No. If you don't think the zigzag ain't going nowhere.
I don't know if Don shared with you his zigzag theory where Anthony Davis
is a zigzag theory
about how he
goes the up and down.
Yeah, the up and down.
Anthony Davis.
But Anthony Davis, but D and DeMarcus, I'd like to get your thought on this. I know we got to get to these other segments, but I'm saying, but Don, I'm saying, like, Anthony Davis again, and I think there's a misnomer out there. Again, he doesn't need to. We like to see him do that, and he has the ability to do that when he really asserts himself, right? He can score. He can go 35 and 20. We know that, right? But at the end of the day, too, it's going to still really be about Anthony Davis anchoring the defense. That's the main thing you want out of AD. If he's anchoring that D, again, like I said before, we got dudes that can still give us complimentary points and give us the scoring that we need. Like even AR yesterday, he had 23, right? We got guys who can still score. AD doesn't need, we love to see it, but he doesn't need to for us to be successful. If AD even goes 20 and 15, 20 and 20, whatever it is, as long as he's anchoring that D, it's going to create problems because whatever he's not scoring and he's anchoring defensive wise, somebody else ain't scoring. You know what I'm trying to say? So you know, they lost a lot of points with going back to Golden State. Poole, Clay, these guys, Wiggins, there was a lot of points that they were not getting that they got in this regular season that they wasn't given in that playoffs. And that's simply because of the Lakers defense as a whole, but AD in the anchor in that middle. And that's the key to me that I don't think AD needs to be. So he ain't zagging all that much. You know what I'm saying? If he goes 7 and 12,
listen,
but I mean,
Rod will. Let me tell you what Rod will do. Rod, when the highs are high and the lows are low. When listen, we're going to revisit this, and it's beautiful. The game starts on Tuesday, and it's going to be interesting. The biggest difference is this: you have a big man who is going to put up points. This is not something you've seen. You've seen it before. You've played them. You've beat them. Yes. But he is high 20s, triple double. He's getting rebounds. There is no deficiency in one of the things. Well, he's a scorer. He can get a whole bunch of blocks. Defense, but
he's the total package offensively. I'll give you that.
You talking about Jokic?
Jokic is the total package offensively.
Yeah, he's the total package.
He's the total everything.
But to DeMarcus's point, he's going to struggle defensively. When you got to play defense on an Anthony Davis, I think you're going to see some compromise on the offensive side of his game.
I just think it's
funny.
I'm not saying a great deal. I'm not saying it's going to be a precipitous fall.
This is my thing with Anthony Davis. I think for him, he's going to get so many fast break opportunities. It's going to be as soon as the ball get inbounded, he beating Jokic up the court. Jokic got to run. The best thing he could do is he has to body up AD. When he's not pulling him away from the paint, you got to put your body onto him to wear him down physically. And I think Jokic can do that. I firmly expect that to happen. My only thing is it's like, bro, when the offense starts to shudder because he's in foul trouble, their game plan is going to fall apart. AD's lows and his highs and lows, he'll look like Hakeem one night and he'll look like Evan Mobley the next. But it's like, if you're going to revert to Evan Mobley giving me 15, but you're getting 20 rebounds and 3 blocks,
right? He's good.
It's hard for me to complain, and I'm not asking much of you because we got about 5 to 6 dudes who can go get 15 on a night. So when he doesn't show up, every game we've closed out, whether it's been Memphis or it was the Warriors, you looking at him having a game in the high teens, but it's not close. And it's because we're not relying on him. We're relying as a unit. We're literally, we need him to go get us anywhere from 18 and up, and we can get it done.
Okay,
that's my only thing.
I think your pastor needs to let you preach tomorrow.
If AD was our number one, I say anything less than about 25 is you not giving it what you got.
So let me ask you a question. Who's the most important player on the Lakers?
It's LeBron. The best player is AD. The most important is LeBron.
Oh, see, we differ in opinions right there.
Yeah.
I think if Anthony Davis doesn't have an impact where he is impacting the game, scoring and defense, because LeBron, as stated, he is an older player. Yes, when you're up by 20, then you could give me the ball, slow it down. We're going to dribble. I'm going to point to each player. I'm going to point to Kim Kardashian and North and Jack Nicholson. I'm going to point to all these people after, no. Anthony Davis is the most important Laker moving forward. You cannot win if LeBron is your best player. And
we can't win.
You can't win. So I will say this. It's because we can go on and on about this.
Yeah.
DeMarcus, we are going to have you back after this Western Conference Finals. We want book it.
Oh, yes.
We want to have you back for this Western Conference Finals. And we're going to use this material. We'll see who is way off, who is out of bounds. I think Anthony Davis, as far as his ability, you're acting as if, and both of you maybe still on the euphoric high of the victory yesterday, that Anthony Davis has every game been aggressive and he's pushing the ball and he's banging in the paint. He does not want that. He doesn't want that smoke. Remember, when you
He don't want the smoke. He don't want to bang. Is you saying
he doesn't
want to bang?
He doesn't want to be the
Why
five.
does he not want to be? Oh, it's being the five.
Come on. Now all of a sudden, Anthony
okay.
Davis, he wants to be on the outside shooting. So I think we're going to see how it all plays out. We're going to see how it plays out.
It's not like he can't, though. And
there's a lot of stuff that we can't.
I mean, it's not like he can't bang, and because AD is a really good defensive player, and we're the number one team in the defensively in the playoffs because of AD and his blocks. I mean, I agree with you in the sense it all centers around AD, but to DeMarcus's point, even last night, Golden State had to go into a zone because they didn't want LeBron was abusing him inside. You know what I'm saying? And
but
again,
you won't have that advantage against Denver. Denver goes to the hole too. So that whole difference with playing a exclusively 3-point shooting team as opposed to playing a team that has a combination of in and out play, that's going to shrink. And they're good free throw shooters. They're really good free throw shooters.
Yeah, they are.
So
they are.
Transition baskets, I think, advantage them. Or it's going to be at least closer than it was with the Warriors. The Warriors, they lack size.
No,
and you guys did what you were supposed to do, and you abused that, right? Because the Warriors, they're champion, they were the reigning champ. They exclusively lived and died by the three. And they died. They died yesterday. Yeah. So being a team that does not solely rely on threes, and they have a presence, their players are bigger players.
No, they
way
are.
bigger. So, you have it's going to be, listen, we need to move on. But it's going to be. Right. But DeMarcus,
we'll get back to it.
Put it on your calendar. By the fifth game, we'll have you back because it's going to be.
That's good with me.
Denver and 5. No, I'm not gonna 5. Nah, Denver. I was going to say Denver and 5, but I'll say Denver and 6. Denver and 6.
That's more respectable. I ain't as angered inside by that.
yeah, definitely.
All right, so moving on. Speaking of Denver. They had to get rid of a high-powered team with no bench. They whipped up on the Suns. Now, there are a lot of teams. There's going to be a lot of coaching changes. There's going to be a lot of player movement when this season is over. And the question is going to be asked after another disappointing. I mean, Kevin Durant has dealt with getting swept last year when he was with Brooklyn. Then he comes to a team that pretty much was gutted to acquire him. And he had Devin Booker on cue, CP3, injury. DeAndre Ayton, I think he got one of his ribs removed. Something. It was just a whole bunch. Injury after injury after injury. And so the question is, will KD win another chip? Because, outside of, I know part of the reason he wanted to go there is because they have they had a good team in place, but naturally you're not going to be able to have both. You're not going to have a deep bench, especially if this is not a free agency where, players are coming there. CP3 should pack it up. He should call it a career. He's had a good career. He didn't win a championship, but certainly Phoenix should move on from him. Denver made it look bad. Now, the question also is Monty Williams. Do they need another voice? Because Monty, I think he has to go. 2 years in a row, you lose on your home court by over 20 points or 25 points is embarrassing. Yeah. And when you played against the Bucks, some of it is not desire, right? Because everyone says, DeAndre Ayton is, big for nothing, right? He's a waste of height and space and all this, and he's disappointing. But part of it is, strategically, why would you ever put DeAndre Ayton one-on-one with Giannis? That was a bad decision in the first place. You needed to double. You needed to build the wall. You needed to. So that's on Monty, right? And he's a likable guy. He's a straight shooter. We know, I don't know, maybe five years ago, he dealt with a horrendous tragedy, and he handled it like a man's man. He was professional, and people like him. Overall, he's a well-liked coach. But it comes a time where, at the end of the day, it's about elevating, right? It's about elevating the team. And they have a new owner, young guy, Rich. He's getting slapped and flopping in the crowd. He wants, and so teams are on short leashes. Like, it's about winning now. It sounds good to think, oh well, it's a process. Nobody, the years of trusting the process is over. Teams want with the flexibility and free agency, and sometimes either pouting your way out of a team or forcing a trade. The NBA has taken on the NCAA type of mentality where I'm going to go in the portal. I don't want to play for this team anymore. I'm out of here. So what I'm going to do is either in the terms of like James Harden, I'm going to gain a bunch of weight, not seem like I want to play. I want out of Brooklyn, or I want out of Houston or whoever. I want to not play, or I'm unhappy. I'll start doing things that are counterproductive to the team, and I'll get myself out of there. I'll force the team to trade me. Unfortunately, Kevin Durant, as great as he is, as accomplished as he is, his time is coming up where, hey, listen, are you good enough to elevate a team? Can you win another championship? What will what will the Suns need to do to either elevate that, or do you think Kevin Durant's going to be on the move again? Is he going to finally stay there and they'll build around him and Booker, or you think he's going to go elsewhere? What do you guys say?
I think he's going to definitely – I think he likes Phoenix. I do. I think he likes Phoenix. I think he likes playing with Booker. I mean, obviously he has what would be considered a consistent superstar next to him now, unlike what he didn't have in Brooklyn with Harden and Kyrie. So I think he wants to be there. I think, look, if you're Phoenix, you got to build around him, right? You gave up too much. You gave up, a slew of draft picks. You compromised and gave up and mortgaged away your entire debt for all intents and purposes. So, you're going to need to build around him. I don't think Phoenix, I would like to think that they said to themselves, when we traded for Durant, we know we weren't going to win this year. I would hope that's what they would have thought. Because really, Phoenix was not going to win this year. There was nobody in their right mind when you really think about it and you look into the intricacies of basketball itself. There's no way that team was going to be able to survive through the playoffs without a bench. So, and even though Booker played lights out, but that, at some point that's going to fade, right? No one's going to play to that degree night in and night out for three playoff series. That's not going to happen. So the thing is, if you're Phoenix, you build around them. Ayton, from what I understand, is a restricted free agent. They can match his offer, which I don't think that they will do. So they'll probably just go ahead and let him go, take an L on him, and then use that money and bring some people in. And I agree with you with CP3. I think either, you can let him walk and you just get some younger guys. You try to test the free agent market. I think they'll have some guys that will want to play in Phoenix with KD and with Booker. But my thing with KD is this, though. KD is getting old too. And, he's a defensive liability as well. I mean, that's not his game. I mean, he could make some good defensive plays every now and then, but, there's a lot of issues there with KD. Okay. And injury is one of them. We talk about Anthony Davis a lot and him being in street clothes, but KD's been wearing a lot of nice fly clothes on the sideline too in the last 3 years or so. So he hasn't been healthy, and he hasn't been somebody you can trust to stay healthy through an entire season as well. So if you're Phoenix, you certainly gamble. I'm not saying they shouldn't have made that trade because it's hard not to get, Kevin Durant, right? Just the name, just to have that in your building. That's something that you definitely can't just dismiss. You got to entertain that, and they did, and they went on and they executed the trade. But you got to understand that you're going to have to build, but you got to build quick because, like, to your point, D, you got to win now. You got to get some guys in there. They need bench help, and they're going to need bigs too because, again, when you look at Denver, you look at the Lakers, you got teams with size. You got teams that are big. And I'm going to tell you what's happening now. I'm going to say this real quick. I'm going to throw it to you, DeMarcus. I'm going to tell you this. The NBA is about to change. The inside game is coming back. I'm telling you, the inside game is coming back again. Bigs are going to matter now. The 3-point game is nice, it's sexy, everybody loves it. It's but again, and Golden State won four chips over their legacy, over their dynasty rather, okay? Because Curry is an anomaly. That's an anomaly. But if you think about it, teams that are dependent on the three do not win chips. They don't win chips. Golden State is an anomaly because of Steph Curry, and simply only because of Steph Curry. And Klay, yes, is a dynamic shooter, and yes, he was shooting lights out before he got the ACL injuries and stuff, so he hasn't been the same player since. But at the end of the day, you're not winning that. Everybody wants to model themselves after Golden State. Unless you got another Steph Curry, you don't have that. The bigs are coming back. Inside game is coming back. Defense is coming back. And you're going to have to be able to size up. And I think that's where you're going to need some help. And if you're Phoenix, you better look in that direction. You know, you get a lot of wing players, but if these guys ain't playing defense and they're not able to really swarm and rotate and put that aggression there and get rebounds and stuff like that, it's a wrap. So I think the game is about to change. We're going to see a difference in the way the NBA is playing.
Denver's biggest.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. For me, my biggest issue with specifically with Phoenix was Monty Williams. I feel like he's like a company man. A lot of the time, he's gonna say the right thing, do the right thing. Those things are great. I feel like if he was like on a commercial for like Big Brother, that's who you'd want your son to have as his big brother. So he's gonna lead him down the right path. But as far as going into a hole and having to get out and being a general, not at all. I don't think he got the right rah-rah and to keep people's spirits high in specific moments. Sometimes you just got to tell a man, you got to have to put some dirt on it. And I don't think he the one to lead out of that. That's just my personal opinion. I've always felt like that about him. I'm like, he's a coach that will rely on jump shooting. He don't take advantage of his bigs. DeAndre Ayton was supposed to have been getting the ball to have a way. We all know with bigs, they need to score to stay active. Right. You need to keep them involved and stuff. And if you don't, you'll see what you're seeing, where he's pouting and he's not giving all the effort you want. It's hard for him to be all out on you when you're not all out on him. They wasn't supposed to re-sign him because they know they wasn't in on him. They just was like, he's a valuable big. We're gonna need him, but we don't know how to use him. So that's my personal opinion with Monty Williams. As far as KD, and then I feel like you got to stick with it. I think we did see you did lose your starting point guard, your starting center. You don't have a bench filled out. But for the majority of the playoff series, their two stars did play very well. I think we can all agree that Booker was having an amazing playoff run. KD was just being KD, seaming into the offense very easily, able to still get to his spots and stuff. But when you can just lock in on KD, it's if you bump him at the elbow when he likes to do that little pull up, he can't fight through so much contact to me. He doesn't try to finish at the rim. He can, but that's not his game. And we all have said over years he doesn't take enough threes. And the biggest thing is throughout those championships, he still hasn't developed that leadership quality to where he can rally guys, speak to them a certain way, or let them know, hey, this is what it's going to look like here. This is what we need to expect and be ready for. Right. He's not a vocal leader in that case. And I think the most vocal leading he'll do is probably if you handed him his phone. But if you put him into the locker room, it's not too much of it that's going to happen. And it's not a knock. That's just a personality trait. I think you can find guys who are self-motivated and who can speak to one man to another and get some leadership qualities. But I think the biggest thing that you're seeing is you can't chase superstars and act like it's all going to happen. You need depth. Right. You need chemistry. Those things are big. And I think that's what the Warriors had. They had it on a supreme level to where we got our core, we have our bench, we have the leadership. We've already paved this road. We're just plugging you in for Harrison Barnes. And you've seen riches where it was like to me, that was the highest level of basketball that I had seen in my lifetime. And I grew up as a Lakers fan, and I've always felt like the 2017 team that the Warriors had, I hadn't seen a team that could beat them. I didn't get to see the 96 Bulls with understanding that a lot of people have. I look back, but I can't magnify the moments the way that y'all could speak to it and stuff. Right. I think KD can get another chip, but I think he's going to have to sit down and just take the bruises with it. And I think that's the biggest thing. He could have stayed in Brooklyn and been fine. Cam Johnson was getting 40. Cam Johnson was emerging. KD was still doing his thing. You trade Kyrie, you get those defensive players that they got, and they still made the playoffs without him. So I'm like, their team wasn't so far off. And the way that the East shakes down when you got Jimmy Butler going off, Giannis being removed out the way, when you got the Nets, or not the Nets, the Sixers having the troubles that they have where they just can't, they can bite, but they won't swallow. You know what I mean? Like they ain't going to take down their prey. So I think it would have been better for him to just sit down and get a Dirk type ring, if you want to say, where it ain't a million superstars around me, but the quality of my team is in place. But Stay where you at now. Figure it out, because you don't got too many options. You can't keep ducking or trying to go reset things. Sometimes you just got to stay there and your turn will follow. Like, everybody has their moment. So
totally agree, man. Wow,
yeah.
That was a great take. That was a great take.
Yeah.
That was a great take.
Hey, man, it's hey.
Anytime somebody tears down Kevin Durant, Rod is all for it. No, I'm not saying he did. I'm not saying he did. But any negative critique, he's, oh yes, it's profound. Where this is
like the wisdom.
Tell me more. I mean, listen.
Man. Just like
you need everyone that the time that we're living in now. You're not going to just one player is not going to do it. And yes, it was a long shot for them to actually go deep in the playoffs. Who says that they get past the Clippers? If the Clippers are fully intact.
No, they don't. They don't.
They did really, really great considering. But of course, just like anything else, you need a little bit of luck, right? And the Lakers, even in this playoff run, have benefited from a little bit of luck. Memphis team wasn't fully intact. So all of that matters. I'm not saying that the Lakers were not a better team.
No. We all understand.
But what I'm saying
but he
is,
needs to say that though, DeMarcus, because D has a way of slipping stuff in there to still
kind
it makes it sweeter at the end.
So let him say that. He needs to say that.
No. It's okay. I think I'm talking about every championship. There is something that gets you have a little something. You either a team that you thought you were going to face head on. Yeah. A player gets injured. You're able to sidestep them or not face them at full strength. Mm-hmm. That's part of the game. Injuries are part of the game. So
I agree.
It is what it is. But I do think, to answer the question, I do think Kevin Durant will win another championship. I think it really depends. I think Monty Williams, maybe they move on from him. I think that they get pieces. And Phoenix should be a desirable location for players, for free agents.
It is.
I think DeAndre Ayton is out of there. I think there is a market for him. But if you remember, that relationship between Monty and DeAndre Ayton had soured a year or two ago, right? Yeah. So it's I don't know if I find it hard to believe that DeAndre Ayton, with his size and skill level, coming out of college, coming to the pros, is that bad, where he's only averaging 8 points and 8 rebounds. Yeah. I think part of that is I know that there'll always be a market for me. I'm going to, even if I'm not with Phoenix, I will land on my feet on another job. You're going to get fired based on the lack of success we've had with star players. And, so I think he kind of, in a sense, might have, kind of threw the anchor out. Was like, you know what? I'm not going hard for you. You didn't believe in me. You didn't want me. Me and you were arguing on the sideline. I guess it was last year. So I see we don't really have that chemistry. You don't value me. Some other team will. And in the process of me downplaying or not playing to my full potential, this will get you fired and up out of here. So it's a stupid way of doing it. But, I think DeAndre Ayton, I think he can't be as bad as he has displayed over the last couple of years. So only time will tell. But Kevin Durant will get another chip. And I think Phoenix, if they make the right...
think Phoenix, he's going to win with Phoenix?
I think if they get the right... Team? I don't know. I don't think he's going to go to another team. But if you're looking at... If you get CP3 out of there, I think there will be some free agents, you get some free agents. I think it could look really good. That team could be, you have two really good players, and I think building and getting you need size, of course, right? But if you get the right players around them, they're definitely right in the mix. Yeah, they should.
Don't be surprised if Kyrie find his way in Phoenix, especially with Ayton on the move or CP3. That's all I'm gonna say. Because
you think Kyrie will get a supermax deal? You think not a supermax, but you think he's gonna get a max deal?
I don't think he'll get a max, but I think he's at that point in his life where me playing basketball and just getting a nice contract is cool.
No,
I don't think Kyrie.
I like, you know what, DeMarcus, Marcus, I think you should you should just be a resident guest for the rest of the playoff.
We
You know
can
what
do
I mean?
it. I'm just letting you know.
'Cause
Hey, football, basketball.
Yeah, I agree, man. Because that's what me and D been talking about. I don't think he'll ever get a max contract, Kyrie. That's me. D thinks he'll get one, but I don't think he will. So yeah. And if you're KD, you would want to stay far away. I'm sure he's gonna let the ownership know in Phoenix, like, yo, don't bring Kyrie, please.
Yeah. I think they'll just look at things. I don't know. I think KD is kind of fickle. In the sense that he might just bring him back, and it might work. I'm not opposed to saying Kyrie, KD, and Booker won't work. I think they're gonna look at things and be like, if we can move Aiden, we can get some nice pieces to build depth. CP possibly doing the same thing, and if Kyrie takes less money, then the opportunity's there. And I think they're gonna have to look at, is it gonna make us better or worse? But Kyrie got to go up in his own. I don't even want to make this segment about him. I think that's the biggest reason the Phoenix Suns failed, is because Kyrie lost his mind in Brooklyn. Had he just been cool, they would have kept their team and they'd be over in Brooklyn. That to me, that's the craziest turn of events. But yeah,
now you're trying to go to a painful subject now.
I'm not.
I might have to shut my camera off.
I'm mad because I liked how Brooklyn was playing. I loved how Brooklyn was playing. I'm like, this is the basketball we want to see from y'all too. Kyrie wasn't talking. He just lost his mind in 24 hours and said, all right, I'm done. I'm like, bro, I'm not going to do it. It's painful for you, and I get it.
It's part of it. I mean, it happens. But listen,
living through rust was enough. I don't like digging at people. Living through rust was tough, and that's my guy.
Rod loves this. He loves to see me tormented. Outside of the gnashing of teeth, he loves me to be tormented. But that's cool. It is all good. Listen, Brooklyn, we have a bright future. And wait a minute, why is that up? Why?
It's necessary. It's necessary. It is necessary.
Yes.
Oh man, this is.
Oh, Kingdom Creative. I love it. Oh,
I can't believe that they would. Man,
it's necessary.
Et tu, Brute? I mean, listen, they will stab you in the back, but it's all good. Listen, Brooklyn has a bright future. Brooklyn didn't make our show topics, but Brooklyn has a bright future.
They do.
I think, it's the East. The East is considerably easier. So if we make the right moves, we'll see what happens. But let's talk about an East team. And this makes my heart, I feel so good about this. The Knicks versus the Heat, man.
Oh,
I love it. All the Knicks fans. Oh, Brooklyn's a baby brother, and you never gonna be. And ideally, we won't be as big as the Knicks in New York, right? Obviously, but I said this early, and we're going to post it again. You cannot trust Julius Randle.
Say it
cannot.
Louder.
No, I mean, cannot trust Julius Randle. I can't even get the words out, but you can't trust him. When you least expect it, when you expect him to perform, he will disappoint. And added to that list is RJ Barrett. Both of them had horrible. I think the question that we need to ask, Thibodeau needs to go, right? He's the comb over.
Definitely.
He needs to go. And the question is it time to blow the Knicks up? Just blow the whole team up. You got one player that you build around. You got some size. You keep some of the bigs, right? You got two big guys, Hartenstein or Frankenstein and Frankensis, whatever that team is. You got him, and you got the other dude that can kind of jump, but looks kind of old, but he got some hops.
Mitchell Robinson.
There you go. So you got some bigs. You keep the bigs, right? Because bigs is a commodity that team. You need bigs for rebounding, if nothing else, for rebounding and blocking. Yeah, dealing with the East, dealing with Embiid, and dealing with the Giannis's of the world. You do need bigs. But Brunson, you got Brunson, and you kind of you got Grimes, and everybody else is you just got to let them go. Let him go. Start over. Get somebody else. Get Tibbs. The ball you can't have a team of ISO players. Just That's everybody right. is. Oh, it's your turn, and then it's my. And then when you have your team structured with just ISO players, those players don't perform. Brunson played every minute. I think of the last two games.
Yeah.
Every minute. He gave his body to be burned. And the players that you're expecting to come along and, hey, listen, let's do this. Let's make it happen. They underperform. I mean, drastically underperform. Foul out. They looking in the eyes. I don't care. I don't care if your eye. I don't care if you got the last king of Scotland eye. Who cares about that? Because you think New Yorkers care about your eye?
They don't.
He's just a disappointment. And I called it a while ago. You cannot trust Julius Randle. He's the type of player that he just doesn't manage himself. He doesn't manage his emotions. He doesn't play within the he's an ISO player, but he's not a consistent ISO player that you can depend on. I think the team should just be blown up, build from Brunson, and keep the bigs, get rid of Thibodeau, and see what you can do. You know, I mean, you got the Mecca, you got everybody excited, you got people with the videos. KD, don't you wish you came to? But what did you get out of that? At the end of the day, it's just a disappointment. What do you guys say?
Go ahead, DeMarcus.
If it's me, the only thing that I'll differ on is RJ Barrett. Not that I think that he's so great, but I think that RJ Barrett can easily be a number 3 for a lot of teams. And I think he's shown that at times when you had Brunson being number 1, Julius Randle being the number 2, I think it was easier for him to score. But I think the biggest thing with Julius Randle, where I do agree with you, he don't play from the elbow down. I was watching him in 3-point contest. I'm like, well, why are you here? Not that you can't shoot him or you but this ain't what you do. And I think that's where he gets lost. He'll fall in love with the jumper. Yep. Instead of, I always felt like, I'm like, you need to mold your game after Zach Randolph. You should be a bruiser. You so much bigger.
Ooh, that was a
and
bad
can physically you can physically dominate people. Yeah, you know what I mean? You play with a certain anger and aggression. And I don't think most men want to stand face to face with you. So if you actually play to that, you would be okay. And New York likes that. Anything, all I've known is growing up, I watched the Miami Heat and the Knicks play as a child, and them series was brutal. They like physicality. I'm like, you can build like a big fan base within that style with them and stay true to yourself, which is the best form of you. Mm-hmm. But I think the biggest reason why you can't trust Julius Randle is because Julius Randle don't trust himself. And that's the biggest thing. So I agree with you there. I'm not a big RJ Barrett fan, but I think to have him and Brunson, if you can fill out with some quality pieces, I actually like their team. I don't like what Julius does in the playoffs, but I'm like, Brunson he's made for playoff basketball. And that's the only thing that I can say. That man is a winner. I don't know if he ever gonna get a ring or not, but when I see him, it's kind of like not to the same level, but what I feel about Damian Lillard. I'm like, if you ever get in the right situation, you're gonna prove everything that you worth. That's kind of what I feel about Brunson. Big time baller. I like the way he moves.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think, y'all hit it on the head. And I feel bad for Brunson because he gave it all, man. And for them to lose on that last play with that bad pass he made, to be the guy that kind of lost the game in that one play after playing so well throughout the entire series, for that matter. I mean, he's the only, I think, since Bernard King to actually score 30 or more points in a particular series. That's crazy right there when you do think about a lot of the Knick legends and so forth that played. I've watched Patrick Ewing, I watched Bernard King even play, and how great of a scorer he was. But to see Brunson doing what he does, and clearly he's the team you're going to need to build around. Not Randle, obviously, and I think we all agree on that. You got to build around Brunson. You're going to now make him the guy like, yo, what do you want to do going forward, right? He's got to be part of the brass now, and you kind of get his insight on some things because he showed up when it mattered, and that's the problem with Randle. He doesn't show up in the playoffs. He was bad against the Hawks in 2021. He was bad in both of these series here in this playoff run. So he's just not, again, I don't know what it is. He's not mentally connected. There's some things there. And right now in New York, man, it's going crazy right now. I got to send you guys a clip. Y'all may have saw it out there on social media. They ripped his whole poster down. You know what I'm trying to say? The Knicks fans stomping on it. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Yeah, Knicks fans are heated, and everybody's coming at it. Then you got some people like, that's not right. That's why it messes his mind up because the way y'all treating him and stuff like that. But New York fans are going in on him. Like they're showing no mercy at all. Then you got guys like what's his name? Kenyon Martin talking about when they won the last game, the Knicks, and getting on him because after the game he went and hugged his wife and kids and so forth. And then Kenya Martin like, yo, why you going to do that, man? You know, you got to stay focused. You know what I'm saying? All kinds of stuff. It was a weird take on Kenya Martin for that matter. But what I'm saying is that Randle is getting so much vitriol and he's getting attacked and excoriated on every end on every side. I don't think he's built for New York. I think his mind just doesn't. It's hard for him to get the level of concentration. And like you said, DeMarcus, he doesn't know who he is. He doesn't realize the level of skill that he actually has. Look, he made All-NBA this year. You know what I mean? Which is a great accomplishment, you know. So he can ball through the regular season, but he falls in love with the jump shot. He doesn't play from the elbow down, as you said, DeMarcus. And, you know, if he was getting there and bang and play like what he did when the Lakers had him, right? When we had him for the first 4 years, he was inside. That last season, he averaged 16 points. You saw his game ascending. He was getting inside. And he had a little midi, too, that he was hitting from time to time. So, you know, but then he got away from it. And I think Tibbs got to go, to your point, D. They need more ball movement. I don't know. They need to definitely look for a different kind of coach with a different kind of mentality to get Brunson to get on another level, because it's going to wear Brunson out playing the way he's playing. I mean, the dude is just, it's way too much ISO, and it's a lot. And he's making some tough shots. I mean, shots like, my God, man, this guy is just short amongst these trees and taking some crazy shots and playing really good basketball. And if you're the Mavericks, you got to be hurting that you let him go, for real. They wouldn't even be in this situation searching for another player, or wondering if they should get Kyrie back if they kept Brunson, man. I mean, I'm telling you. So, yeah, the Knicks, you got to blow him up. You pick up Hart's a free agent, so you're going to sign him back. And I think they got his bird rights, so they can keep him, and that won't hit their luxury cap situation. Derrick Rose is like $15 million against the cap. They have a team option on him, so they're gonna let him roll. Rose is gone, so you know, just for the money reasons, because that puts them way into the luxury tax cap issues, and you know, it's just not worth it. So yeah, the Knicks got some things to do, but I like Barrett though. I think Barrett just needs to get into a better system. If they can get him into a better system, I think you'll see more productivity from him. But he could be a nice third scorer. I like what you're saying there too, DeMarcus, with that. So, but I agree with both you guys on the Knicks. Yeah, Knicks trash. I hate the Knicks anyway. I don't care. Let them sit in their misery. I don't care about the Knicks and Nets. You know what I'm saying? Let them figure it out.
But listen, do you think it's time for the Knicks to call Mark Jackson and say, hey, listen, listen, we got a vacancy. We got a coaching vacancy. I mean, listen, that would be a really good hire that I could get behind. Like, yo, listen, Mark Jackson, New Yorker, Knicks, point, like that is that would be a good hire. But
it's making sense.
The Knicks won't do it. They won't do it. You know, they
don't treat
what you call it well. No, not at all. They had Oakley. They was
all crazy.
About to string Oakley up a couple of years back. Like, nah, they don't. Patrick Ewing had opportunities. They wouldn't hire Patrick Ewing. He had to go through the college ranks. So it's just like, maybe it's just time to blow them up. Yeah, they'll keep. I think they should keep some players.
But do you think they could trade him though?
Who?
Do you think do you think that the Knicks go? I mean, because he's still on the contract, Randle. So I mean, the only way you can get him out,
a team. There's a place for him, of course. Now the team would have to understand that you're getting a player that is going to shoot threes like he's Steph Curry. He comes in and he shoots. And if it's, as we mentioned on another show, if your shot is not hitting, why don't you use your size? Go in, drive to the hole, get to the free throw line, try to, impact the game with your size and in the paint. He won't do that. He'll just keep launching threes, launching, and he hits them. And what happens is, if a few of them go in, that's the worst thing that can happen for Julius Randle. Because then he's coming down and all but shooting from the logo. And it's like, you could, obviously you're in the league, so you're a good player, but you're not that kind of player. And when you start seeing players that shouldn't be like to DeMarcus, to his point, what are you doing in the 3-point contest? Cat, big Cat. He won the 3-point shootout. That now he feels like, that proves it. That stamps that I'm a 3-point shooter. Instead of maximizing where you would be most effective, and there's talk that he might be trying to come to New York, either for the Nets or for the Knicks. Now, if you get rid of Julius Randle and you bring Cat in, is it a big upgrade? I don't know if it's a huge upgrade. I don't, because if Cat is not going to definitively play in the box, and if you're going to now get another big that's going to go out and that's going to be their primary focus of shooting threes, I don't know. I don't know if it's of a great benefit. He's a better player, obviously, than Julius Randle, but I don't know if it moves the needle where it's like, whoa, now the Knicks should be the favorites coming out of the East.
I like the move, though. I think the biggest thing the Knicks need is what a lot of people need. Sometimes you need consistency. It's just for doing good, to where it's like, okay, we kind of know where we at. We see where we can grow from. I think the Julius Randle thing is just it's time to go. But moving to Cat, I'm a fan of Cat, but I think Cat can get in his own head sometimes. I think New York might be good for him, because you're gonna have somebody that's constantly on your line. Like, you better get it right. You better get it right. And you looking like, okay, let me just do what I need to do. So I don't know if it puts him over the top at all. I think we all can agree that it's not that. But
yeah,
I would be cool. Like, just as a equal move, you know what I mean? Just say, hey, we at least gonna be, this will be our floor. You know where your floor is from there. So it'll be good. I could live with that. It ain't too many pieces around. And I think when we're talking about the game going back to bigs, it's gonna show like you do need a big. You can't find too many of them that have this ability. So do I just pass it up? You can find guards who can get 20 and stuff. You give enough guard shots, they can find their way into 20.
Yeah, they'll get some points. Yeah,
but bigs, it's not always there.
I think Cat gives them a little. You're right, D. I don't think it moves the needle. But one thing about Cat, even though he likes to fall in love with the jumpers too, but he plays a little bit closer to his game as a big man than Randle does. You know what I mean? And I think he still can bounce. I mean, he can still body down there low, and he got a little mid. He can get the hook going. Yeah. He'll play around the basket a little bit more than Randle does. So and he is a better player. But I don't think it
he don't pout when he not getting the ball. He might go down, but he ain't gonna pout and start.
Yeah, he gives you better body English and stuff like that. He's not like Randle. Who's
I'm gonna say this: the New York market will eat Cat alive. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say.
I believe it. I just think it'll be good for him.
Randle, so,
I don't know if it's gonna be good for him. We will see if he
couldn't
makes
take Jimmy
to
Butler. That's for sure. Jimmy,
right? And so imagine the media, the back page of a whole bunch, hundreds of Jimmy Butlers chewing at you when you don't perform. I don't know.
Jimmy wasn't wrong. Jimmy wasn't wrong. The best thing for Cat, sometimes men just need accountability. You need somebody to tell you I'm telling you, need it. And it get to a point when it's like, let me just listen and see. And then when it start working, you start like, okay, I can let these things go. And you in Minnesota, you get the freeload. There's no expectation there. It's never going to be one.
No,
it's never going to be there. But when somebody expecting something of you and you working towards it, it'll break your spirit in the right way sometimes. So I'm for it. Go there. Go figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Last but not least, we still have a game 7. I thought there was going to be 2 game 7s.
Ooh.
But it turned out it's only 1 game 7. Boston and the 76ers. Listen, Boston, just last year, they were in the finals, right? Mm-hmm. And they had, we saw that they were just a step away from kind of, the experience kind of showed that they didn't have what it took to ultimately get over the hump and beat the Warriors, right? And so now they had a coaching change. They had some adversity in the beginning of the season. They had, interim. Then they had a new coach. He doesn't have the same tenacity that Ime Udoka had. He doesn't hold them accountable the same way. And defensively, although they have been good the whole season, they were not. It just, something seems like it's missing. And, it's going to be really interesting what Boston does. Are they able to grit it out? Embiid, he won the MVP. James Harden, Embiid scoring leader, right? James Harden leading in assists for the NBA. So you have now Harden. He wanted out of Brooklyn. He wanted to come to Philly. He felt Philly gave him the best opportunity. This team, the way it's constructed, gave him the best opportunity to win. The question is, will Embiid and James Harden choke? because we know it's either one thing or the other. We know Embiid, usually it's health. Usually it's something. Now, he was dealing with a knee injury. He had a bulky knee brace. He eventually took it off. He's playing with a sleeve, and he's been balling out. So can he continue that? Can he continue and get to the conference finals? Harden always, when he gets to a certain point, it depends. His consistency in pressure moments, sometimes, he's known to choke. And so the question, this is the best opportunity they have to actually get to the conference finals. Will they be able to do it, or will they choke? What do you guys say?
What you got, DeMarcus?
I want you to go first. I actually want you to speak on it.
Well, I think like this. I think it boils down. Look, it's game 7 now, right? So everything else is out the window. This is where we get to see the separation of players who are true superstars versus the guys that are at a ceiling in terms of what they can actually do when they have to make a moment for their career. Let me start by first saying, I know we're talking about Embiid and we're talking about Harden. You look at Tatum and what he did. I think Tatum is the perfect example of just that game in itself, in that game 6. A guy who obviously was not playing well throughout that entire game and then takes it to the next level, right? When it needed most, the team kept them in close enough for Tatum to then elevate to the superstar status that he is and got them over the hump. And to me, that's where you need to see guys like a Harden or Embiid. I think the pressure more is on Embiid than Harden, because Harden is the kind of dude, right? He's either going to facilitate really well in a game, give you maybe 15, 16 assists, and he can take the shots when they're there, and he can do that, or he can give you maybe a glimpse of what he was in Houston, which we saw in this series already, right? Yep. But at the end of the day, it still centers around Embiid. Embiid is going to have to dominate. He's going to have to be the dude to say, this is my team. I'm healthy right now, and I got to be able to take this team and put them on my back, and I got to be able to do this. Forget everything else about the inconsistent Harden and this, that, and third, because at the end of the day, if Embiid does not play well, regardless of what Harden does, it's still going to fall on Embiid, because this is your time now. Harden is the sidekick for all intents and purposes, right? He's the guy that's riding the bus, and he's going to ride along. Now, I'm not saying he's not going to contribute, which he has, and he will, but ultimately, it's going to have to be on Embiid, and he's going to have to dominate down there, against I'm drawing a brain fart right now.
Jaylen Brown?
No,
Tatum?
the dude from
No.
Well,
He's
against
talking
Boston.
He's talking about Robert Williams and then Al
Robert
Horford.
Williams and Horford. Yeah,
right.
He's going to have to. You got to have. I'm Embiid. You are who you are. You're not on my level. I'm going to need to destroy you. And that's exactly what I'm going to need to do. You're going to get some good points from Maxey, who I believe is going to step up and score. You'll see some things with him. And they just got to play smart. That's all. So they have the ability to do it. But will they choke? They have the propensity to. They've proven that they are capable of doing such a thing. I would like to think that they will overcome. But again, if Boston and you got Tatum and Brown, if they really get the gel and play the way that they need to play, where I think sometimes in some instances Brown, from what I've noticed, and I don't know if I'm totally correct on this, he's not as aggressive all the time. His shot taking isn't there as it should be. You know what I'm saying? But I think if he gets to get into that 25-30 range along with Tatum, it could be a long night. But I think Philly's going to overcome. I really do. I think this is the year that they're going to do it. I think Embiid is going to take them over the top. This is it now. This is his legacy. He doesn't do this. No one wants to hear anything from him or Philly or anybody else, and trust the process and all that. Because all the guys that they pick failed. Embiid's the only pick that actually lasted. You know what I'm saying? Markel, Fultz, and all those other guys, they all trash and they bottomed out. Yeah, all of them dudes you picked number one. Even Ben Simmons, who gave you a little bit of some success, but even he bottomed out. So
Nerlens Noel, Michael Carter Williams. I could go on and on. I ain't forgot.
Oh my God! Right? Remember that dude? Like, yo. Man. So yeah. That's it. So yeah, I'm Embiid on this one. I like to see him win. I think they will. I think he'll. For me,
I got a personal bias with Jaylen Brown. I got to meet him couple times. I like them. My mom's she moved down to Marietta, Georgia, and that's where he's from. He was the biggest thing when I went down there.
Okay.
Then he went to
About 30
Cal.
minutes from where I'm at.
I met him.
Okay.
I was working out in that area, so I met him, and I always liked this game. I like the heart he played with, and I feel like that's gonna matter. I think the worst thing Philly did was lose that game 6 because they had Boston on the Boston had no life, and they was down by 4. I'm like, you playing with fire because at some point the shots are gonna fall. I don't even think you can compare Boston's bench to. I think Philly's bench is nowhere near as good as Boston's bench. The rotational players, those supplementary pieces, and everything. And then there's like, as much as I want to say the experiences in with the coaching, I don't know that I could trust Doc Rivers, and I'm not a person that's against Doc Rivers. I'm actually like, you know what, you a decent coach, you can get to the playoffs. I think for the most part, that's a coach's job. Can you get me to the playoffs? And my players got to figure out the rest. But we all know his record is scarred with failure from being up, and it's like I gotta look at you failing. Harden and already failed, and Embiid will have a stinker, the most random stinkers in the playoffs that don't make no sense. And it's like I'm supposed to look at Maxey or Tobias Harris, the poor man's Melo. Like you man. And then y'all going into Boston. If it's a fan base who don't care who's showing up and who gonna let you hear it, it's them. Don't let James Harden start having a bad game. All the stuff they gonna hear. Hey, that fan base is very particular with black men. They got something for you. You start failing, they gonna let you hear it. And it gets to a point where the pressure is gonna start mounting. I think the only hope they have Embiid. If Embiid mans up, I think they can figure it out. But I trust Jaylen Brown's heart, and I trust that Jason Tatum. I can't see the last game happening again. I can't. It's that I'm like, nah, Marcus Smart gonna do some dirty man work. Al Horford might have a 15-10 game. Like, it's just too many other players that I can count on, and I can't say the same for Philly. But if there ever was a moment, it would be now. I'm gonna stick with Boston as a Laker fan. I'll be like, give me the Sixers because I know they don't want it the bigger the moment. Give me that. Keep Boston. Going. Do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. And the more Boston suffer, it's a good day. It's a good day.
Always a good day. Oh, it's a wonderful day when you see.
Man.
Absolutely.
I like him. I love Jaylen Brown. I wish Jaylen was a Laker, but
I would love
play for the other team. You play for the other team. I can't really do too much with you.
I feel you on that. So you think they win tomorrow? Who do you got tomorrow?
I trust Boston, and that's as much as I love my team, I love the game more. So when I do see a team that will dial it in defensively, will play for each other, has their 2 stars that have walked the walk with each other, this would be their 4th or 5th conference finals. If they're to make it, I think that shows something. You got dudes who are Harden, who's made conference finals, but he's not in that same place. I don't know if Embiid has ever been there. So at some point you got to do it, but when we've been doing it, it's different. We could actually tell you what we finna do before we do it, and you can watch us. So there's a difference. I think Boston gonna figure it out.
I got a quick question. I just have a few things I want to throw out for you guys to think about. I think both of them, Tatum and Brown, it's about money. And at this point, are they going to blow that team up? Is somebody on the move? Because they're not paying $600 million for 2 players, right? So somebody is going to go. And we know all of the trade talks, Jaylen Brown is always the person that they talk about being on the move. So my question is, with that kind of looming in the background, the uncertainty, am I going to even be on this team? I'm not saying that nobody quits or they don't play, but I will say this. Somebody that I know gave me this scenario, and I always like conspiracy theory stuff. So they said that, what if the NBA is trying to structure it so that Embiid plays Jokic? The back and forth about who's the best big man. I know Laker fans don't want to hear this, but this is just something to kind of put out there and think about. But wouldn't that be a compelling kind of, final, right? To really see if, because it's always questionable if Embiid should have gotten the MVP last year, and with Jokic getting it and possibly getting 3 in a row, and Embiid finally breaking through and getting it. But I think that the way the Celtics are currently constructed, this is the last year for that. One of them is going to go. So this would be their best opportunity to win. I think the 76ers are going to win. I do think the 76ers, if Embiid plays to the level that he can play, and this is not a if Embiid like if AD, right? Embiid, there is a floor that pretty much you're always going to get. He won't have a 30-point and then he has a 10-point game. That won't happen, right? So you have a floor. It's the other players, right? So if Harden doesn't show up the way he should or what you expect, Maxey is that other player. And I think Maxey is consistent enough, given the time, if he's on the floor and he's playing, I think they are gritty enough. I don't know. I just kind of like them to get past it. Now, we both agree, or we all three of us agree, at least I think, that whoever wins out of Boston and the 76ers will represent the East. I don't think anybody believes Miami could beat either team, right? Based off of the fact that they're dealing with injuries. We're talking, then it kind of goes into the same kind of 3-point shooting team with no significant inside presence, kind of like the Warriors-Lakers situation. Because Miami is Jimmy Butler's gritty, Bam Adebayo, but when you match up against a team that has that kind of size advantage, it's going to be shown, right? So no one thinks that maybe the Heat will represent. So this is the Eastern Conference Finals. And I think the 76ers will grit out a win. I think Harden doesn't have to be great. I think Maxey has showed enough consistency that he'll do what it takes, and I think they'll win. What do you guys say?
I like your take. You almost swayed me just with the when you brought up the financial stipulations. I was like, that is a strong point, and I wasn't thinking about it at all. You might have convinced me. You might have convinced me with that one. That was a good take.
Thank you. Rod, do you think who do you have winning tomorrow?
No, I got the Sixers. I think Embiid is understanding that his legacy is on the line. You're the MVP, man. So you gotta step up now, and this is a game 7. People get their legacies established in game 7s.
That's right.
Or elimination games. And if you want to be that dude, you want to go down in the pantheons of great centers and big men and team leaders and franchise type players, then you got to win this tomorrow. You know what I mean? Because it was a blunder. You to lose game 6 was a complete travesty. It was embarrassing to lose that game, to DeMarcus's point. So you got to win this on the road, and you got to be that dude and win on the road. That's what you're going to have to do. You made it harder for yourself, but okay, you set the bar now at another level, and so now you got to go ahead and perform. And so if you come out with some 23, 25, and 12 and you only get maybe, and you go 1 for 4 in the fourth quarter, something stupid like that, then you ain't that dude. We don't want to hear. And your MVP is a fluke, and in the minds of everybody, Jokic is the real MVP because he's got his team in the Western Conference Finals. So you got to ride. You're gonna have to eat all that. You know what I mean? If you don't come out of this, so I'm putting that Embiid is thinking that way, and that he knows he's got to step up, and so it's do or die with him. So I know I like Embiid. I'm gonna put the trust in him on that. And you're right. Boston, this is it for them. This is their last. They're gonna have to definitely blow that team up.
It's over.
It's over for them. So this is the last.
That sucks. I like that tandem. I'm one of the few people that's like, nah, keep them together. You don't 2 young players that good that's getting the conference finals, keep that. But when you pulled that point out, I was like, yeah, the financial stipulations is hitting a lot of people hard. The Warriors is about to to have a sad reality, and I'm glad we did it to them because I got tired of hearing about them. They was Warriors in 7, game 6. Clay kill all that noise.
Game 6 Clay.
He killed all that noise.
He had a game 6 for sure.
Yeah, one for the books.
One for the books.
Terrible.
Right,
it was
terrible.
Exactly. I think the last time Embiid played a game 7, wasn't he crying? Wasn't that when I loved it? Okay. Oh yes, and I loved it when Kawhi hit that corner shot and rolled around, and Embiid just like kind of dropped to his knees and was crying. That did my heart good because I'm not an Embiid fan. I think Embiid, in order for them to win against the Celtics, he needs to be active and he needs to try to foul that team out. He needs to foul the Celtics out early. Yeah. But if he goes to the ground 7 times in the first half, like I want them to lose because No big man should be falling like that.
I'm with you.
You guys have a big man that falls a lot, but I'm just saying.
No. I'm with you. I don't want to see my big down there. Get up.
Yeah, because it's too much falling. It's too much falling.
That is, but I told what I was telling Don DeMarcus was that with AD, I think the reason why we're not seeing him really hurt in this playoff run or even since the trade, right, is that I don't know what, this is just speculation. I was telling Don that I believe like LeBron and them got into his face and said, listen, you're not hurt. Like they had to change the way
they hypnotized him.
Yeah.
Do it.
Right.
Your hip is okay.
Yeah, your hip is not what it feels, right? You know what I mean? But what it was like, I think because when you get injured as often as AD and you see him always favoring something, right? After almost every play, it's like, he's always favoring something. Yeah. And I think he just quickly, in his mind, he quickly succumbs to what he feels. And I think they was like, yo, you're not hurt. Stop it with giving in to the pain that you feel in that moment. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not as bad as you think it is. You can play through that. And if you notice when he took some hard hits throughout, the regular season after the trade deadline, you playing through the play-in, the first round, second round, we've seen AD take some crazy awkward falls that everybody is gasping, right? Like, oh my God, that's it. He's hurt. He's not going to get up. You know what I mean? Now we're seeing him getting up. His legs are twisted, going 50 different ways like a spider web, and you just like, man, that's it. He's done. But he'll get right back up. He'll put all his arms and legs back together again. And then,
pop lock back down the court.
Lock back. He's like the 10 man that needs some oil in that moment, and he just starts running back down the court. And you're like, okay, great. And I really feel like AD is taking a mental step, a mental progress and advance a little bit more in how he's kind of reacting, to his body. And I think it's changing a lot. And for that reason, we're starting to see him really obviously doing what he's been doing. And Embiid is that type of player too, for the most part, but he has a lot more size and stuff. And, with AD, it just always looks so weird. You always get concerned with the way he falls. But I just think this time his mentality has changed as far as how he's approaching his injuries.
You know what I like with the team structure of what you're saying? You're not seeing nobody rush over there to him to try to, get up, bro. We all got to get up. Everybody, you just sometimes you got to pull through it for us. It ain't even about you hurting. It's about us getting where we got to go. And that's my biggest thing with AD. I don't want to see him on the floor. I don't want to see him holding that. Sometimes I just want to see him. You see, like LeBron to go up under there, he get a bucket, he shrug his shoulders like this. You know what I mean? Do his little thing. Like sometimes you got to tell yourself, like, we just gonna keep pushing. Like we might lose, but we not gonna fold. And that's the thing with AD. It's like you'll give yourself an out that nobody got for you. That's one thing. Like, it's some players when you just seeing them hit the ground and you like Austin Reeves live on the floor. He get right back up. He get right back up. I don't got no time. I have no sympathy for that. The only thing to the Embiid point, when I like seeing Embiid lose, because Embiid do be doing some dirty stuff. I'll be like, bro, you always falling on somebody. You just got to watch Embiid. He'll hit you in the low section. Okay. You watch Embiid enough, you can go on YouTube. You get some time, just go look at the dirty plays he be doing. I'm like, you too big to be this dirty. People ain't gonna play with you, but I'd have hit Embiid. If I was up in that key, he'd have caught an elbow or two with me. You doing a lot, brother. But I like the points y'all made, man. I think if Embiid does play to just getting them in foul trouble, committing to the just playing at the rim, I think that can turn a lot of things. And after some time, sometimes you just inspire people with the way you fight. And I think he can, when you looking at a Maxey, he a flamethrower. Maxey would just come out and be hot for no reason at all. And I think this will be the one time Tobias Harris show up in a playoff game where it's like nobody's seen it coming. And you need that. That gives you momentum going into the next round. And I want to see that. I want to see teams playing at their apex. My team, I can deal with my team losing if another team playing better. Like, if y'all want it this bad, go ahead. Like, I love the game more than I love my team. So when I see people playing at the height, I'm like, nope, go get it. It's your time. Like, take it. So as long as AD ain't on that floor, I think we can do that. But if he start crying, get out the way, bro. Go ahead. I'm going to ask for Mo Bamba to come in if he crying too much.
Oh, yeah, but Mo Bamba.
Mo Bamba. Let's do it. We need more rim protection. More rim protection.
More rim protection. And he can shoot too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
But let me ask you this real quick question, guys. Who do y'all rather see? I would rather, but honestly, I got Embiid winning, right? And the Sixers. But honestly, I would probably like to see Boston and Miami. Who do you rather see playing Miami? Because I just feel like Embiid could still get hurt again in the Western Conference Finals. Something fluky could still happen with them, right? But Boston, for all intents and purposes, they remain healthy, at least the 2 stars. But who do you think, what would be a better matchup in your mind to see? Would it be Philly and Miami or Boston and Miami?
I think both of them are dominant. I think both of them are better teams. Now, there could be if you put the 76ers and Miami, there's the Jimmy Butler kind of, because they moved on from him for Ben Simmons.
I was gonna say.
So they got a little revenge factor, and can Jimmy Butler be gritty enough to beat them? Now, if they ultimately make it to the finals, it's going to be disgusting because they're going to get destroyed by either of those teams.
Whoever.
The Lakers or Denver is going to destroy them. So that would be a disgusting final that nobody wants to see.
Nobody wants to see that.
I think the best case scenario out of the finals would be either the 76ers or Boston, right? And out of that, I would say deeper bench, it would probably be Boston because they're the most, they're the deepest East team left, I think. And they have their stars playing, but I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I just like this. I like Tatum and Brown for, the entertainment value that they bring. To me, Philly's boring. I mean, they're good. Maxi's good, and it's good to see Harden do it. But Philly, Boston is a little more entertaining. Like Brown and Tatum, I kind of, for entertainment value, I just think I would like to see that.
Who do you think the Lakers would have the easiest time beating?
I was not gonna say Philly. For me, it would be Philly because it's the role players and then James Harden. We talking about them zigzags. Them James Harden zigzags is wild. Those are wild.
Yeah, I'll take those zigzags any day. So
I'll take them if you want to bring that. For selfish purposes. For selfish purposes, and I'm saying it, the best conference finals matchup would be a rematch of Boston and the Sixers. But for selfish reasons, if the Miami Heat make it, I'm gonna just make some bubble jokes with people. If they end up making it back to the NBA Finals, I'm gonna just the bubble was so fake they didn't did it. I'm gonna just irritate people. That's just just to nag on people. But it has no purpose outside of that. Just nagging on people.
Just nagging on that.
For real. Yeah,
I agree with you there. I think Philly for me is a team I think we could beat because Philly is. They don't really have, in my mind, and I could be wrong. Y'all could check me on this, but I don't think they got real defensive stoppers, right? Other than obviously Embiid, but and they play a little more slower to a degree, even though Harden can facilitate and stuff like that. But I think we can overcome that defensively. I think Boston gives us more problems because the way Brown and Tatum and how elusive and agile they are, right? And their athleticism, but Smart, Harford, the dude White, who's actually all NBA defensive team on an all NBA defensive team. They got stoppers. They got guys that can cause problems for us. So I would rather play Philly than Boston. Yeah,
you give me Philly, y'all. Give LeBron number 5 and give us number 18. I wouldn't care. I don't want to hear no analyst. I don't want to hear no analyst trying to tell us, the Philly's gonna. No, they're not. They're not. And Miami better pray they don't get there. Miami do not need that again because
they gonna get
Pat Riley gonna have headaches. Pat Riley gonna have headaches seeing the purple and gold win, and then then LeBron winning. He gonna
You know we hate LeBron. So
exactly. Boston needs to get there because they got a history that shows that they can do more than contend with us. They can abuse us at times. They can humble us and others. And they gonna fight us tough regardless.
I'm rooting for either Philly or Miami to come
now,
out of
Denver makes it there, I'm gonna be happy. I'll be happy in this stint. I think it'll show that the European players it's not even just being superstars no more. Like this you're gonna bring basketball back to its truest form. And for big wins, we're gonna see the copycat league start to copy and finally bring some roundabout basketball versus everybody got a million guards shooting 35, 43s a game. It's like, we can actually utilize these bigs and get back to some just some honest basketball. Everybody pick
man.
your style of play and let's figure it out. So
love it. I love it.
I love that.
I'm hoping. Yep, that's what I'm hoping for.
So I'll say this, DeMarcus, we definitely are going to have you back after this playoff run, or maybe even during it. We'll have you back.
We're gonna do another show in another 30 minutes. You can come back again.
So,
man,
yeah,
5 and 18. I like that.
Yeah.
5 and 18.
So, shout outs to Kingdom Creative for the production.
Yes.
Shout outs to Infinite Audio for the music. DeMarcus, we gotta put you on the schedule to have you back, because
man. Yo, shout out to you, bro.
Once Jokic does his thing, it's gonna be lovely having you back.
Yeah, I'm a man. I'm gonna give him his credit.
Rod may not come. We may not.
Say that again. Wait, I missed that. What did you say?
I said we're gonna have him back after this series. Yeah. And I said, once Jokic does his thing, he said, yeah, I'm going to come back. I'm a man. I'm going to handle it, and I'll be happy. I'll go with it. I said, well, Rod may not be there. Rod may have.
I'm going to call out that day.
Right.
Embiid. Right.
He might be like, yo, listen.
Hey, man, I'll play substitute.
That's what's up. That's a good thing.
Absolutely.
No, that's definitely a good thing. I just want to say to both you guys, tomorrow, man, have a good service. I know your pastor's a Laker fan.
That's right.
The Lord is going to move. It's going to be a great, powerful service. You know what I'm saying? And your pastor's a Laker fan. DeMarcus, you're a Laker fan. I'm sure there's other Laker fans in there and everything like that. So at some point, pray. We get D to the altar. You know what I'm saying? Lay hands.
Yeah.
May the Lord, you know what I'm saying, begin to work on D and everything. And then the next question we'll have: will Mikal Bridges win a finals? That's going to be one of our next questions.
Oh man,
that's perfect low hanging fruit. That's a great thing. He's not a superstar, right? He's
no, he's not. He's coming into a star. He's coming. Yeah. He's not a star. He's good. And that's with DeMarcus, when you come back after this series is over, right?
Mm-hmm.
We would love, and we bring this to all our guests. I know we get ready to close. But DeMarcus, I can't shout out the Kingdom Creative. Our producer,
hey man,
he's doing a thing. Listen,
look at that.
Good star, superstar, great. And this is my category, and we're gonna talk about what players fit in these categorical roles, okay? In terms of who is a great player versus a superstar versus a star and good. Now, Mikal Bridges is between good and star. He's not star yet.
I believe that's correct.
Yeah.
So, but see, that's not even what we're talking about.
We're gonna talk.
Right.
Go ahead.
We'll give you a quick backstory. Rod came up with this list. There's some that we can't even put on the screen because he had the categories where it was like 10 different categories. We can only show you the top part of the list. But in any case, is Kevin Durant a great player or is he a superstar?
It's not a question. Kevin Durant's a superstar. That's me. That's just me. Now,
so wait. No. Before you go, because Rod is happy. What is better, a great player or a superstar?
Let me see the list just so I make sure. Can I get the list one more time?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, it's not a question. You want to be a great. You want to be top of the top, creme de la creme. Do I think that Kevin Durant? I think he teeters it. I think a lot of that is based off of his leadership. I think if he was a leader, it wouldn't be a question if he's a great. You 7 feet to score from every angle. Like it's and people talk about Kevin Durant's defense when he was in Golden State. I'm like, bro, you switching, you contesting at the rim, you playing. The only thing that you weren't great at was being a facilitator, but you were a willing passer in Golden State. And it's probably hard not to be when you got them shooters around you and all that. But bro, you gotta be a leader. You got to be able to sit there in them interviews, answer the questions properly, keep the team morale proper. Kevin Durant, I got no excuses. I got tired of him being compared to LeBron, my guy. I got tired of him being compared to LeBron. I'm like, he don't never want to just take the blows. At no point want to duck the media, bash him. Sometimes you could kill him with kindness and keep doing you. He ain't figured it out. And I'm like, you older, but to me, the biggest thing Kevin Durant needs outside of basketball, he needs a wife. He needs something to come home to and have some peace, and then just get back to playing basketball. You get that in order, I'm like, keep going. We got more. I could keep. Hey. You left Russ You didn't just say, "Hey, I'm gonna leave you," and look, and then not even being, yeah, you went to Golden State, but you didn't found all these players who inconsistent and all that. Russ be terrible on the court at times. He gonna be there. He gonna be right there. Kyrie, great. You don't know what you're getting from him. Yeah, I don't know what made him think CP was gonna last. I'm surprised Devin Booker ain't get a hamstring injury because they whole team is injury prone, Kevin Durant included. I love KD's game. The best thing I ever seen happen to Kevin Durant was that 4-0 sweep when he ran into some real defense. When them Celtics did what they did to him, I was sitting there laughing because I called it. I'm like, they gonna get him done in 5, and they got it done in 4, and it was in dramatic fashion. So, Kevin Durant, you are a superstar that has great potential, but it ain't gonna happen until you accept the road and walk it. That's it.
Yo, that's it. That's it.
That's it.
Yo, DeMarcus. Listen.
I love KD game. KD, hey, I'm telling you, I love his game. You can't stop too much of what that man gonna bring. But a lot of his problems is within itself. Just let it be, brother. Walk your walk, and you're gonna be just fine. Don, I think you got an alternate point. I'm all ears.
No, I'm gonna listen.
Don't let me live. Don't let I can let you know I'm gonna be on the show plenty times. You ain't gonna want to hear this week in and week out.
So my question is, all right,
church
so
be good tomorrow. Wait, I haven't church. Y'all streaming? I gotta make sure I find y'all, man.
Oh man. Okay,
all right.
Go ahead, Don.
So,
I'm sorry.
Leadership counts for something.
Mm-hmm.
What we are talking is he a great player? Not all great players are great leaders. I don't think that they have to be synonymous. They don't have to. In order to be,
I do agree with that.
So, this is where me and Rod differ in opinion, and it sounds like me and you differ.
Mm-hmm.
At any point in a player's career, if they are arguably or the best player in the league, they are a great player. He has proven he is an MVP.
Right.
He is a finals MVP. He's a league MVP. Scoring titles. I think he has 4 scoring titles. I mean, he is a great player.
Yes.
I never said he was a great leader, but these categories are based on what you do on the court. I don't think he necessarily in press conferences, he doesn't dodge questions. I think he answers the questions. It may not be what people want to hear, but when I'm saying a great player, I'm basing it solely what they do on the court.
Yeah.
And do we think Kawhi Leonard's a great player? He's hurt now. He's dealing with a knee.
I do the same thing with Kawhi.
Kawhi's a great player. 2-time MVP. He hasn't won a league MVP, but he's a 2-time finals MVP. Not all leaders are vocal leaders. Some are kind of a show me. They demonstrate their leadership. They demonstrate their greatness. And that's what he is. LeBron is a vocal leader. Yeah. LeBron is a vocal leader. He is all of the boxes in order to what I call greatness. He checks those boxes. And in addition to his greatness, LeBron I'm talking about, LeBron is also vocal. LeBron is also a face of the league. I don't think, even if skill for skill, Kevin Durant was greater than LeBron, he would never be the face of the league. The league chooses who they want to be the face.
They definitely choose.
If you think it's just because he's a great leader and then all of a sudden, no. These things are, LeBron was knighted. Steph Curry was knighted. See, how soon we forget that when Steph Curry had bulky ankles and people were thinking that he wasn't going to be the player that he wasn't anointed the face of the league. That was anointed to him. He was given and afforded the opportunity. It's not solely based on play. Yep. So I say that to say that Kevin Durant, and I will stick with this, is a great player. Great player is not a great leader. Now, if you have both, that is obviously that is fantastic. That is awesome. I will say this, one thing that you did say that I do agree with. I do think that Kevin Durant perhaps needs something or needs somebody that maybe a wife.
Provides peace.
Maybe a
He
kid.
needs a piece.
Maybe you have some children, like something. He needs something that takes him outside of the game. I know he's a extremely successful businessman. So he has businesses, he has things that he has going on outside of the court. Obviously, he's only one of 3 players to ever get a lifetime contract with Nike. So success is he's all around success. They don't do that with players that are just superstars. They do that with great players, right? Because if you think about it, LeBron, let's start. Michael Jordan, LeBron, Kevin Durant, right?
Mm-hmm.
Steph Curry got a lifetime anything? Or and what is it? Under Armour? No
shade, but it's not Nike.
But it's not Nike, right? So
Yeah.
I say all that to say he is a great player. He's not a great leader, and I've never ever said he's a great leader. Rod bases it on, does he have a speed? Does he do his whole life? I don't care about that. I care about what he does.
That's not true. That's not true.
The Hulkamaniacs. Does he eat his vitamins and cocaine blood? I don't care about that. All I care about is when he comes on the court. He is the most seamless player. Any team he goes to,
sure.
That nobody, you don't have to. So I say this, LeBron, you send LeBron to a team. Anytime you send LeBron to a team, 40 players have to go. And then you don't have to do that with Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant goes to a team, he is great. On the court, he is a great player.
Right, but that's the problem.
No, that's not a problem.
I'm gonna tell you why.
Because every time we have a discussion, you're like, "Oh man, I miss that player. Oh, he was great. Oh man, I miss that player." Why do you miss those players? Because LeBron sent them out.
Right, but the players that LeBron sent in, we still win, right? I mean, he sent out Melo, Hart, he sent out Kuzma,
Julius Randle, Kuzma,
and we won. And we won. We actually won. We won with the players that LeBron brought.
That's the thing. You can validate those moves being made because there's something on the opposite side.
We won. But the thing is this, though. Here's the thing, DeMarcus. This is what I'm trying to get you to understand. Why I call Durant only a superstar and not great. And what it boils down to, and it's not even so much the leadership part, right? Because that's more of a personality thing. So he is who he is, right? Just like Jordan, LeBron gets knocked for not being as aggressive as Kobe and Michael, right? But that's because he's more team first. He has a Magic Johnson type mentality in his game, right? But the reality is this: you have not won. You have not been the man. I don't care. Steph Curry got you your chips. The Golden State Warriors, that system, that coaching, Clay, what they had already built, you came and joined a team that was already successful, already won a chip. This is why. What's his name? I'm drawing a brain fart. Said, look, we won.
I'm not going to help you either.
We won a chip without you. We won Draymond Green. Why Draymond Green told him we won without you? Because here is the key: the 2 NBA Finals. Bro, that is a weak accomplishment in the sense when you put it into context to what they were, okay? And why did that happen? Because of LeBron. See, LeBron is great because he impacts the entire NBA. For the years he's been in the league, the whole league shifts. Everybody has to make adjustments. Everybody has to make modifications, all to do what? Stop one man. And that's why they had to get KD in there to do what they needed to do. Him winning the MVP, all KD wants to do is ball. That's it. Give me the rock. I can seamlessly fit into any system because I just want to ball. I'm going to shoot and do my thing.
And what's wrong with that?
Anything.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's a 10 out of a 10.
I'm going to tell you why. But the thing is, if you're great in my mind is being the guy that builds something and able to take it. Even if you lose, at least you are able to take the team and build the team and not be aloof from the team. In other words, KD was not even really a part of the Warriors. All he had to do was just be KD. That's it. It wasn't about anything that he built, anything that he had any say in terms of the construct of that team, anything that had to do with any level of system or anything like that. There was no input. Jordan got input. Kobe had input. LeBron has input. Duncan had input. These guys were able to build what they build from ground up, was able to be part of that system, not just fit in it like another piece that's already in a well-oiled machine. That's all KD was, and there was no effort. There was no, all you do is just be KD. That's not great. That's just you being that's just you being a really good basketball player. You're skilled as a basketball player.
So now he's just really good.
But what I'm saying is
now
you may not like level is what
you may not like how he's gone about it, but to say he's not a great player, listen.
Because a great player, you're talking about great player in terms of skill, but that's not what makes a great player. There's a lot of players that
I think those intangibles is a big separator between superstars and great players. That's me. I agree with everything you're saying about his skill and what he does on the court. I got no complaints about his game. I'm like, it's
not at all.
He's 1% of the 1%. Like, absolutely. There's nothing to say about his game. And I wouldn't care how many times he fails or falls. I've watched Kevin Durant play. He has every reason to be on a basketball court. He is that good. I think it's I don't know. Sometimes y'all ever seen, like, you see teams lose and it's like, yeah, they lost, but we know when they come back, they about to be so much stronger and stuff. And I feel like that's true within Kevin Durant. I think he just needs to just do it. When he got plugged into Golden State, the one thing I will say, there would be times in their offense where it's like, we can't necessarily run our motion offense and stuff. People is catching on to it. You just give it to him and there go to bucket. And he was a safety valve like no other. There was nothing you could do with
great
Kevin
players
Durant, especially within
valves.
that. Yeah, and he
you know
was.
What I'm saying?
Woo,
yeah.
God, wait a minute.
That shook me because I was like,
Wait, you said great players aren't safety valves.
And I'm going to tell you why they're not a safety valve.
Who was he a safety valve for?
Because here's the thing.
Wait a minute. Who was he a safety valve for?
He was a safety valve for Steph Curry. I feel like Steph built it. I feel like Steph built it. I do think Steph Curry's great. I'm trying to give you credit.
And Kevin Durant's not great?
I'm trying to give you the credit. I'm literally trying to put it right back in your court. Like, this is where I do see the greatness that he did provide to him. Because I can say he got plugged in and he took over Harrison Barnes' spot. But they didn't have somebody who could go directly at LeBron. They didn't. LeBron was running wild on them boys for the whole thing. And it's like when Kevin Durant was there, he was immediately, LeBron got to stay with him. LeBron wasn't even guarding him the whole time, but when he was there, it's like, I gotta respect what he's doing. It's 35 points right here.
Correct.
He was giving them 35, and that in an NBA final, that's tough to deal with. He played defense. If he just was like, I don't know, if he had humility to say, you know what, I understand why they love Steph, but my mark is going to be made as time progressed. Championships galore. We probably wouldn't be having this conversation because he would have kept winning so much. But when he stepped away from that to take the road he did, it's like, okay, we're asking you to be more than just a superstar now, because now you're gonna have to build. Exactly. So we need you to be a great.
Exactly.
That's my only thing. I'm like, if he would have stayed there, I would have been like, yes, it's cookies. Y'all can kiss a championship goodbye. It's not moving.
But I hear what you're saying. But based on what Rod is saying, he would have never given him a credit for being a great player. Let's say they ran off another 4 championships. He would always say, oh, that's a sucker move. That's a sucker MC move. He would never give him the credit for being the person. So if you're saying that Steph Curry is great, this is Rod. Rod said Steph Curry is great, but Kevin Durant's not great. But yet, great players would have never asked another player who was good or a superstar. You would have never after losing a final, you would have never tried to solicit or bring somebody on if you were great yourself, right? And I think Steph Curry's great, right. But I'm questioning Rod's logic of saying both of them aren't great. And
Rod, let me answer this. Mm-hmm. The reason why I think me and Rod can confidently say that Steph is great, Kevin Durant left, he went right back and built it up. They went through all type of injuries, and I think we can only say that in present day because time has proven that Steph was able to accomplish that. If KD does the same, and me and you agree, we both at the beginning said, do we think KD will get a ring? And me and you both agreed. So I think that Kevin Durant has it in him, and all I've said is, go get it done, go do it. Because I know you got it in you. There's nothing in me that says Kevin Durant can't lead a team to it if he accepts it. Steph has. It went right down to the floor. The Warriors wasn't expected to win it. You
That's
got
true.
lottery picks. You got an old core. You
Yep.
done did something no team has done. I've won it with young players that are trying to ascend and that have potential. At this point, it was Wiseman. There was Poole. You got Moody, Kuminga, and you got Draymond and Clay essentially on their last legs. And when it got to that moment, I think it was Game 4 in Boston. Steph showed himself. He took his mask off, and he put a moment on the Celtics. I'm like, all right, I have my knocks against you, but at this point, I got to just give you what's yours. It's yours, brother. It's all yours, brother.
See, this is what I'm trying to talk about.
But see, that doesn't tell the complete story.
Why
The infrastructure was already in place. Yes, you still had veteran players, championship players on that team. It's not going to a team that is completely, devoid of any championships or championship DNA. So yeah, they did go through a hard time dealing with, injury and rebuilding after Kevin Durant left, right? So you had to deal with the other Splash brother, but that structure is still in place, right? So it's just a matter of him getting back to full strength. I don't know why I can't even think of his name right now.
You talking about Clay?
Right. Clay getting back to full strength. You have
Right.
Poole. You did pick up Wiggins, right? Last I checked was what was Wiggins drafted?
The number 1 draft pick.
Okay,
Wiggins, but that's
no. Let me finish.
But go ahead, finish. Go ahead.
You retooled. You had a structure in place, and you retooled with really, really good players.
Right.
Now, if it was it completely a rebuild, or was the fact that it was a placeholder and you were kind of marking time until the other players that are used to winning, had that championship DNA you were surrounded with, got back healthy, and then you could keep moving. It wasn't like he's on a brand new team and Steph single-handedly won a championship. That's not what we're saying.
But that's not what we're saying.
I don't think I'm saying that. Yeah.
Core, but he was still the core of that success. That whole system, even before KD got there, Steph was the core. He was the foundation. The foundation never changed. So they was able to bring in some parts, some pieces, some other elements to their structure, along with the core of Clay and Draymond. But what we're saying is that he still was able, after they fell down, KD leaves, right? Everybody hated Golden State, wanted to see them fail. They had some bad years, right? Clay was hurt, but then he still, being the core of that system, was able to still bring them back up to that level of dominance again, and to win a championship that nobody expected them to win. Like the thing here, KD would have never stayed in Brooklyn once Kyrie left. He wasn't going to stay. That would have been a great opportunity for KD to say,
I think it was there.
I still got some decent players here. Let's build around me. We got the coach fired. I like Jock Vaughns. We got him. Let's try to build. We can get some free agents in, and let's build. No, KD wants the easy way out. He wants life easy. He wants to just join a team. He said, when he was talking about Phoenix last year, I want to play with Phoenix. I want this team, want that team, and I want all these guys. And like, yo, bro, where any of these teams you go to, you're not going to get stripped of these players. They're going to trade away the players that you thinking you want to play with. You can't. And so that's the thing why I say with great players, when you look at Kobe, the years that the Lakers were on the downside, Kobe wanted out at one point, wanted to get traded, that kind of thing. Then what happened? He still played, still stayed Kobe, had a few nice little pieces here and there. But then when they got Pau Gasol in there, he was able to take them to 3 straight chips. And they won 2 of the 3. And that's what greatness does. That's not KD. And I don't care about his game. We're not talking about his game. His game is flawless. His game is on point. But he's not great because, again, he is not the kind of dude that is going to affect the system. Nobody's been playing for KD. Nobody's even like, I got to change this because we got to affect KD. They're not even thinking about him. Jokic now in Denver and even the Lakers right now. Nobody's thinking about KD. KD's not a threat. He's not changing the landscape of the NBA or the conferences that he's in because, again, he stays hurt. And when he's out there in the court, again, he's going to score. He's going to give you that. All he wants to do is ball. But he's not thinking about the team or what's going on around him. He's very aloof to what's happening around him. As long as he can just shoot shots all day, that's all that matters. He don't think about, you need better defense here. you're going to need to, we got to tighten up stuff over here. We need another shooter here. That's what great players, even if you're not a vocal leader, you still have a greatness to still understand my team needs to be better. This is what we need to do. Let's try to make that happen and try to work some things even on the court. No, KD just wants to score and win and make life easy. And that's not great. Superstar is what he is. That's all he's going to be. I don't think he's going to win another chip. It's not going to happen because I don't think he's going to stay healthy enough to win another chip. And he's just not that dude that's going to be able to take a team to the next level. I just don't think he has the ability to do that. And that's all it is.
I think he's in prime position to do it. The NBA changes so much, and it's clear that the Suns are going to change. It's clear. Yeah. They're going to change. KD, just stay the course. And I think you'll prove yourself to be as great as I think you are deep down. It's going to be hard to stop Devin Booker and Kevin Durant with a full roster and people that want to play. You go get them some people that want to be there. KD just want to hoop, and I have no problem with it. I literally, when he says that, like, bro, I just want to hoop. I don't want to deal with the media. I'm like, yeah, I get it. The things that you do have to take on with the media, those things. Steph had already laid the ground for that. The Golden State Warriors have the best culture in the NBA. One thing I'll give Steph, I've always said it, in my lifetime of watching basketball, and I'm 33, he's the best teammate I've ever seen. He speaks properly. He don't throw people under the bus. I've never seen anybody's game fold under him. If anything, you're able to keep your level of play or elevate it. And I can't say that about superstars. It's not a lot that you can do that with. So KD was gracefully placed in, and he dominated it just as he was, and was the best player on their team.
Yes, he was.
All the leadership and the mental aspects and keeping the camaraderie well, and you know what I mean, keeping it joyful and in a I don't know, in an elegant place to play basketball, whatever word you want to throw into it. That's Steph, and it showed itself again last year because he duplicated it. So I only got about a minute more. I gotta get ready to clock in. If it wasn't that, I'd talk all day. I love hoop. So, but I do gotta get to work, man.
Once again, we're wrapping the show, and then we went on to the whole, rock. But listen, once again, like, share, subscribe to our Facebook, YouTube page. Shout outs to Kingdom Creative for the production. Shout outs to Infinite Audio for the music. Shout outs to our guest, DeMarcus. We appreciate your insight, all of your takes. Rod loved it.
Loved it. Loved this show.
Every time we have a guest, more often than not, it's usually people are I'm ambushed. I'm ambushed, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm ambushed, but this is going to be good. We'll definitely have you back. Once again, like, share, subscribe to our Facebook and YouTube page. We appreciate all the comments. We appreciate everybody's support. Until next time, peace.
Peace.